Welcome to the Singapore River Cruise. Many have said that the Singapore River is the heartbeat of the island. Thus, the bridges across the river are the major arteries that connect the heart to the body. Today, as we take a leisure ride down the river, let us look again at these bridges with a new light and think about how these bridges brought growth and development to the island. We are now coming into full view of the first bridge, Anderson Bridge. Anderson Bridge was named after Sir John Anderson, who was the governor of the Straits Settlements from 1904 to 1911. The new sturdy iron structure was built in 1910 to withstand heavy traffic. It replaced Cavenagh Bridge as the main link between Raffles Place on your left and the government buildings on your right. The bridge served a more horrible function during the Japanese occupation of Singapore. Severed heads of criminals were hung here to warn citizens against breaking the law. Coming up next is the Cavenagh Bridge. It is built in 1869 to link the civic district on the north bank with the commercial district on the south bank. This is the oldest bridge along the river in its original form. It is also the first steel suspension bridge in Singapore. Before it was constructed, the only way to cross this section of the river was by sampan or by a long detour over Elgin Bridge. It was named after Colonel Cavenagh, the governor of the Straits Settlement from 1859 to 1867. This bridge was manufactured by P&W McLellan, who was also responsible for building the iron structure of the present-day Lau Pa Sat. This bridge was one of the major public works to be built by convict labour from India. By the late 1800s, the bridge could not withstand the growing volume of vehicles. Therefore, Anderson Bridge was opened in 1910 to lighten its load. From then on, Cavenagh Bridge became a pedestrian bridge. The elegantly designed bridge up ahead is the Elgin Bridge. The Elgin Bridge is an iron bridge that was built in 1862 to replace Thomson Bridge. Prior to 1862, there already existed a footbridge at this landmark as early as 1819. It was replaced by several bridges over time, such as President Bridge and Jackson Bridge. The Elgin Bridge is named after Lord James Bruce, the 8th Earl of Elgin, was the Governor-General of India between 1862 and 1863. However, it was dismantled in 1925 even though its name still remains. A new concrete bridge was built to better cater to traffic in 1929. In the late 19th century, the bridge is known in Hokkien as Ti Tiao Keo or Iron Suspension Bridge. It served as an important divider between rival Teochew and Hokkien areas along the river. Coming right up is Coleman Bridge. It was the second bridge to be built along the Singapore River after Elgin Bridge in 1840. It was built to relieve the burden of Jackson Bridge for being the only passageway across the river. The brick bridge was designed by George Drumgold Coleman and had 9 arches. It was the first bridge in Singapore to be built in masonry and was referred to as a new bridge, lending its name to the road on its southern end, New Bridge Road. The bridge was replaced first by a wooden one in 1865 and an iron structure in 1886. This iron bridge is considered one of the most attractive bridges spanning the Singapore River. It stood for about a century but was unable to cope with the increasingly heavy traffic flow between New Bridge Road and Hill Street. The iron bridge was finally demolished in 1986 and replaced with the present bridge. However, several features of the iron bridge, such as the decorative lampposts and iron railings, were incorporated into the current structure in recognition of its historical significance. As we exit Boat Quay and enter Clarke Quay, look at the shophouses to your left. Try to imagine the hustle and bustle of merchants, traders and coolies, all trying to earn a day's living in this place. Straight ahead is our next bridge, Reed Bridge. Reed Bridge was built in 1889 to replace the Merchant Bridge, which was too low to allow boats to pass under it during high tide. Reed Bridge is named after William Henry Reed, a prominent merchant active in the local political and social scene. Officially opened by Governor Clementi Smith on 18 April 1889, it was also known as Malacca Bridge because of the nearby Kampung Malacca, believed to be the place where Malays from Malacca first settled soon after Singapore's founding. It was also the collection point of fuel and other imports from Malacca. The bridge also used to be the favorite hangout of the Teochew's migrant worker, as it was here that they gathered at the end of their workday to listen to the storytellers who spun tales of folk heroes and legend and also read the news to the largely illiterate clients. Storytelling rates were based on the duration of a burning joss stick. The storyteller would light a joss stick before starting a story and collect his money once it finished burning. Odd Bridge is a pedestrian bridge in Singapore. It spans the Singapore River at Clarke Quay. Odd Bridge was built in 1886 to replace a demolished footbridge known as the ABC Bridge. The bridge is named after Colonel St. Harry St. George Ord, the first British governor of the Strait Settlement after it was given the Crown Colony status. The new name was an abbreviation of its old name, Ordnance Bridge, which was a reference to it being a landing point for weapons and ammunition to be transported to the British depot along Magazine Road. It was also known as Toddy Bridge as there were toddy shops in nearby Pulau Saigon, an island on Singapore River which has since been reclaimed. On 3 November 2008, the bridge was selected for conservation as part of the Urban Redevelopment Authority Expanded Conservation Program. Clemenceau Bridge is a vehicle bridge. It carries Clemenceau Avenue across the Singapore River, while underneath it, the Central Expressway crosses the river as a tunnel. The bridge is named after the Prime Minister of France, Georges Clemenceau, who visited Singapore in 1920. It was constructed as an extension of Clemenceau Avenue in order to provide a direct link to the expanding Robertson Quay. The bridge was built by the Public Works Department and was completed on the year of the Prime Minister's visit. Robertson Quay, the area surrounding Clemenceau Bridge, has transformed drastically from the late 1800s onwards. What used to be swampy marshland is now a high-rise residential and commercial area. There used to be little islands along the Singapore River. One of the islands located near the bridge was Pulau Saigon. The island is home to many Chinese who live in a village called Kampong Saigon. The economic activity in Pulau Saigon includes trading bricks and cement and milling sago. The village eventually grew into a squatter area filled with opium smoking and gambling vices. The place was eventually cleaned up. Later, its waterway was reclaimed to join the mainland. We've reached the end of the Singapore River cruise. Isn't the Singapore River story an exciting one? Find out more by exploring this website. See you!